Welcome back to Wedded Whispers. I'm your host and DJ Willie D. Glad to be back. It's been a long spring wedding season, a hot spring wedding season, at least the end of it anyway. We had a couple events the last 2 weeks where the heat was up there. We're talking 95 plus, 97 last Saturday. But we got through it, and we are all the better for it. It's been a while. It's been a while, and I apologize for that, but it's been busy. I'm a solo operation, and there's only so much I can do. So let's get into something. What are we talking about today? We are talking about, or I'm talking about here, what makes me me. Let me get something to drink here. I run things a little different than a lot of people in my region. And it doesn't make me any better. It doesn't make me any worse. It just makes me different. I run some, pretty intense processes and systems for my ceremony rig, and it just kind of it suits me. I run a lot of tech. For instance, I've got a one of my videos up on YouTube. I'll post the link in the description for you. My ceremony rig is entirely wireless. I can go anywhere, any kind of way. I throw my audio from the front just because I prefer a more natural sound for the guests. The guests, you're looking at your bride and groom standing up there, and you're looking at the officiant. My belief is that audio should come from that direction and not from the rear or from the side. That's just a preference of mine. I run wireless mics for the groom and the officiant. I don't use handhelds. I will in a last-ditch effort if there's no way around it. I don't prefer it at all. I like wireless headsets for the officiant or a lapel. Then I always put a lapel on the groom. The reason I do that is just in case something goes wrong with my mic that's on the officiant, I have a backup on the groom that catches all three of them. So either way, running that type of system, I'm good to go. I've got plenty of backup systems in place. Something else that I do that not many DJs do, I run a battery-powered speaker and a battery-powered ceremony unit. That allows me to separate the two. One, for me, I like to have line of sight to wherever my wedding party is coming from, and it varies from venue to venue, especially with some of these outdoor ceremony venues. You don't necessarily have a line of sight if you're tied to your system in some of these places. So I like the freedom to be able to go wherever I need to go. One, to get out of the way of pictures, and to have a line of sight. Wanting to run a system like that introduced another issue that had to be handled by way of tech, and I run antenna distribution and paddles, which gives me a much longer range and a much more dependable signal that supports me being able to take my ceremony rack wherever I need to go and still make sure that I'm going to receive those signals from my wireless mics. So it's just a couple of things that I do for my ceremony. Another thing that I do, and this has to do with backup systems. When I show up to any event, I'm not going to get into the details and down the rabbit hole of exactly how I set it up and what programs I use, but for those in the DJ community that they'll know when I say it. I use Lexicon, and when I get to any event, I have all of my must plays and my go-to music at a minimum. Those go-to crates on my Prime Go, which is a standalone system, my Prime 4, which is a standalone system, and then I operate primarily from Virtual DJ and software off of my laptop. And both my Prime 4 and my laptop have my entire library, and both of them can access my streaming softwares or streaming sources. So I have full access to all of that on my primary and my Prime 4. Worst case scenario, if everything else fails, I can grab my Prime Go, and it's got all of my anything that's been planned for a day of, any requests, any of those must play songs for any of the formalities are on the Prime Go, along with my go-to crates. It's not going to be my full library, but at least I've got my go-to crates. And then again, with that system, I have my streaming services available to me. So I have three redundancies as far as the music portion is concerned. And what's a DJ's main purpose? To play music. I have redundancies set up in, just for mics, just in case. I mean, I've got an extra two speakers that go with me to every event. So, I mean, I've got those redundancies built in. But they're built in such a way that it's not that I'm taking extra gear. So I'm taking gear that I'm going either can use, or I might post one of my, for instance, I've got three of the JBL Pro Eon MK2s, which are battery powered speakers. I use one for ceremony all the time. Depending on where, if there's a cocktail area somewhere else that I can't throw to from either the ceremony speaker or my reception rig, I've got another MK2 that I can throw in the cocktail space. So, I mean, I've got all these systems in place, and if my main speakers go down for the reception, all I got to do is grab those three MK2s, pop them up somewhere. They're battery powered. I can Bluetooth to them. From my setup, I use Bluetooth transmitters. So there's almost nothing that I can't overcome, except a major power outage with my, well, no, actually with the Prime Go, because it's got a built-in battery, so I can operate with no power. So all these things built into what I do, and that's going to lead me into my main focus today. What is the job of a DJ? We're going to talk about on a basic level, and then we're going to talk about what a DJ actually does. Things that a DJ is responsible for day of wedding, and even in the prep process. The music curation. Music curation is probably the biggest thing. We're going to talk to our clients and find out, what their preferences are, what kind of vibe they're into, and we're going to provide a curated list based on that. We're also going to be able to read the crowd, and a DJ that can read the crowd can keep any party going. And it doesn't matter what kind of crowd you have, and there are all types of crowds. Several of us DJs, and we talk regularly about, what do you do if you have a crowd that just doesn't dance? And it happens. As a matter of fact, I had one last weekend, but the couple was entirely prepared for that. They, told us, explicitly that, look, they're just not going to dance, and that's fine. They just wanted a vibe. They wanted some music that they like, tap their toes to. You might get a few dancers here and there, and that's okay. That's entirely okay. But a good DJ is going to be able to read the room no matter what type of crowd is there and keep that vibe going all night long. Equipment setup. And we're not going to talk about, what's a good setup, what's a bad setup. That's neither here nor there. That's, for every DJ and their business model, and for the client to select their DJ based on, their needs and what they like aesthetically. Whatever that setup is, being there on time to set that gear up in a way that you're ready to go at go time, whatever that looks like. If that means you're there 3 hours before start time, if that means you're there, an hour and a half before start time, whatever it takes to get that done. MCing, atmosphere, and those two kind of, go hand in hand. A good DJ or a good MC will create an atmosphere that's conducive to your guests agreeing without knowing they're agreeing to have fun, to have a good time, whatever that looks like for your specific event. And that kind of leads into guest interaction, kind of encouraging your guests to participate, managing special dances and, traditions, that type of thing. What I use for my prep process, as we get a little further into this, talking about consultations, playlists, and coordination with other vendors, is I use Vibo DJ, and it is the most powerful tool that I have to use, just second to Lexicon DJ. But what Vibo does for me, it allows me to empower my couples to be uniquely themselves in their planning process, to go and select the songs that mean the most to them, to make sure that I understand via the notes sections throughout the planning process that I am locked in on their vision, whatever that vision is. And I tell all of my clients, I don't work for anybody else but you the day of. Everybody else, as far as I'm concerned, they can go kick rocks. I mean, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But I work for the two of them. And if it means whatever means something to them that day, I want to know. And I've got all of the questions in Vibo to walk them through their day, whatever that looks like. It walks them through their ceremony. It will walk them through their entire timeline from ceremony start till the end of the event. There are questions in there regarding vendors. I always prefer to have vendors' names and phone numbers, such as the planner, your coordinator, your venue manager, or at least my main contact at the venue. I prefer to have photographer, videographer, prefer to have their contact information as well, just as a way for me to touch base depending on who they are. Some of them I've worked with several times, but especially if it's somebody that I've never worked with before, I'm definitely going to touch base with them and make sure, one, that I'm not stepping on their toes, and two, to make sure that they understand that I'm here to help. I have the same end goal as them, and our goal is to make our client's day the absolute special day that it should be. Something else that Vibo DJ does for me is, one, it handles all of the music from ceremony to end, and it also gives me a way to kind of pick my clients' brains and find out what other options they may be interested in, such as private last dance, if they want to upgrade to uplighting, if they want to do some older traditions like anniversary dances, or if they want their cake cutting to be private or announced, all these little small things. If they're doing first look, and so I can kind of walk them through what their timeline looks like one way or the other, and I kind of went through that in one of my previous podcasts. Anything special that they want done, whatever uniquely untraditional. I love that term. I don't know if I came up with it or not, but I like it. Even if they're being uniquely non-traditional, I want to know those items, and Vibo DJ really, really helps me do that, and kind of sets me apart from a lot of people that use other processes, because I, before Vibo DJ, tried to do that, but it got so cumbersome, and I ended up with my forms looked so daunting that I think some of my clients got a little dissuaded to try to complete them because they were just so cumbersome. But anyway, moving on. Other things that a DJ does: handling requests. And handling requests gets to be a lot. I love taking requests, but I handle them differently. I use my DJ software can handle requests via a QR code. So what I do, I set a few QR codes around the room, and people that are tech savvy go scan the QR code and they request their song. That way it comes straight into my system right on my laptop. That way I don't have 15 people running up to me towards the end of every song asking for a song. And the people that aren't necessarily tech savvy, obviously a lesser portion of the crowd, they can come up to me and request the song that they want. That way I can focus on reading the room and delivering a flow to the event without being interrupted and being bombarded by 100 out of 150 guests, maybe 20 people that really want their songs heard. It gets to be a bit much, especially when you're trying to make a dance floor happen and keep that dance floor happening for an hour and a half. Something else a DJ does: problem solving. Any DJ will tell you there is no such thing as a perfect wedding. I've never seen one. I've never heard of one. Now, ask any couple out there, and they will tell you it was perfect for them. Everything that they wanted to happen happened, and it happened without them being stressed out. But DJs are the single thread that ties the entire day together, and it is our job to make sure that one, when we're getting ready to do toasts, that one, the videographers and photographers actually know that we're getting ready to do toast, making sure that the couple is actually seated and ready for the toast to happen, making sure the people that are giving the toast have been prepped, and they know if they're going to have a handheld mic, or if it's going to be on a stand, or where they're going to stand, where the photographer prefers them to stand for their pictures. I mean, my opinion is my own opinion, but I don't think there's anything more awkward than having a room split up where your couple is sitting at the head table and the person giving the toast is at the opposite end of the room or to the side of the room, and you've got all these tables in between, and there's not a picture of the three of them or the four of them or whoever's giving toast in the same picture. So, just kind of managing those things. Another thing that a DJ will likely do is release tables. And this is a big one for me. Venues, please find someone else to release your tables. So DJ gets there. I typically am on site up to 3 hours prior to the ceremony, just to make sure I'm set up in plenty of time. And, if there's any hiccup, I have plenty of time to problem solve and, manage whatever needs managed. So we're setting up. We got, pre-ceremony seating music playing 30 minutes till, and it's go time. In that time, we're kind of touching base with people, making sure we're on time. We're talking to our coordinator or venue manager, or whoever is handling things, making sure, we're ready. We're doing those last minute frequency scans to make sure our mics are good. We're miking up the groom and the officiant. We're giving those, I do make announcements during the seating period. Silence your devices. Don't hold your phones up in the air. Making all those announcements. Welcome everybody to the venue. On behalf of the couple, just thanking them for being there and those things. So ceremony starts. It's go time. Ceremony ends. We've got to either get to cocktail space, or we've got to get to the reception space. One or the other. There's no time for us to do anything other than work. Dinner starts. And if your DJ is releasing tables, they're not getting an opportunity to eat. Even if the DJ is not expecting to be fed formally, even if they brought their own stuff, and if they're releasing tables, they're releasing a table every couple minutes, and either they're doing that on the mic, or I prefer to go around and get face to face with my tables, just to kind of introduce myself, and so they know them if I have to release the tables. But I go around table to table and release them. Once the last people are coming through the line, typically you're going to go ahead and do toast, because typically the first people that sat down to eat are just about done. So now your DJ has had no time to rest, no time to eat. If they were expecting to be formally fed along with the guests, they've not gotten a chance to eat, because after dinner, toast, cake cutting, dance floor typically is open. And your DJ is not going to step away for 15 minutes to try to throw some food down their throat once the dance floor opens. So venues, I think you're doing your DJs a disservice. So clients that are listening to this, please keep that in mind, that if your DJ is releasing tables, they are likely not getting an opportunity to eat. And it's a long day. I mean, your day is quite a bit longer, understandably. But our day is pretty long. And it's pretty intense. Let's talk about one more thing. When it comes to processes and systems that a lot of DJs have to deal with, we represent that in our prices. And I know as DJs, we are the one vendor that nobody knows what it's supposed to cost. We are most times a first time, last time purchase. And I don't think enough of us think about it this way. And I'm near positive that clients don't really appreciate this for what it is. There's really no way to tell a good DJ from a bad DJ. Every DJ on the planet can post something on their social media of a packed dance floor for a 30-second reel, or they can post 20 of them. I mean, there's always that one portion of the night where you know people dance. So I mean, it's easy for any DJ to show that in a reel, but there's no tangible way to really experience your DJ before the day of, unless that DJ has a residency somewhere at a club, or does a regular weekly gig somewhere at a local pub or bar. But most of us don't do that, especially us wedding DJs. Typically, we don't have somewhere that you can come and see us. I mean, we can't invite you to somebody else's wedding, obviously. How tacky would that be? But all that to say that the expectation and the realization of price for product isn't really something that's tangible. And my whole purpose behind this whole podcast is, one, to kind of highlight that and to inform you all, the audience, the potential clients, the people that are in planning or plan on, getting towards the planning session of your wedding, planning season of your wedding, rather. And kind of educate you on the things to look for, the pitfalls that you might run into, the speed bumps that you might run into along the way, and trying to explain to you that what you see is not always what you get with the DJ. And really, the only way to know your value, the value of what you're getting for the DJ that you're paying for, is really to dig in and do some homework and hire by referral versus by price. Even good DJs that are as good, carry just as solid systems and processes as me. It might not be the same gear, but it's just as good. It might not be the same process, but it's just as good. It works. And there are differing things. Some of them are better MCs than me. Some of them are better DJs than me. Some of them I'm better at certain things. But there are DJs at my level that cost more, and there are DJs at my level that cost less. So the only way to really know what you're getting is to book by referral. Reach out in some of the groups. There are wedding groups everywhere in every state and every metro area. Seek out those Facebook pages, do some research, ask who people used, and don't just look at a price. And for the love of Pete, I'm not going to say don't. There is a price point that if you go below, you are putting yourself at great risk of a no call, no show, or somebody that will take your deposit or your retainer and never speak to you again. It is a thing, and it sucks that the wedding market has turned into that. But in every category of vendor, there is a price point that if you go below, you could be setting yourself up to lose money, or I think even worse than a no call, no show is somebody that shows up and has no clue what to do and absolutely ruins your day. It can happen. It does happen. We hear about it all the time. But overall, your DJ plays such a crucial role in setting the tone and ensuring your celebration is memorable, making sure it's enjoyable for everybody involved. Don't shortchange your DJ. Do your research. Look for referrals, and prepare to pay. If you're looking for a premium DJ, prepare to pay a premium price. It kind of is what it is, and what I consider a premium price in the greater Nashville area between Nashville and Bowling Green is anywhere between I'm going to say between $1,500 and $2,000 to start for a premium service. There are outliers that are lower, yes. There are outliers that are higher, yes. But if you're wanting a very, very good DJ, somebody that's going to handle everything, make everything seamless, about that $1,500 range seems to be the norm in the greater Nashville area, even up to Bowling Green, Kentucky. But I don't have anything else for today. I thank you all for coming and checking this out. If you find favor in what we're doing here, if you would please, follow us. Pop over to YouTube, Wedded Whispers on YouTube. Give us a follow there. If you want something, talked about, if you have a subject you'd like for me to talk about, to address and maybe help you out along the way, pop it down in the comments on the Spotify. I do pay attention to those. If you want to go to Wedded Whispers, you can pop those questions in there as well. And let me know if you guys want me to set up a Facebook group. Yeah, it's one more thing for me to manage, but if that's something you guys would like, I'm happy to set that up and try to grow a little community. But that's all I got for you today. I will see you between now and then.